Okay, we're back. This is part 2 of the Tinkercad tutorial. And in this tutorial, I am going to show you how to take the STL file that you created in the first tutorial and bring it into the program called Cura, Ultimaker Cura, so that we can create something called a G code. The G code file is the file that will be used to tell the printer how to print your design. So it's important that we get that G code file, and you will upload that G code file into Google Classroom just like you did with the STL file. So if you haven't already watched the first tutorial and downloaded your STL file, please do that first before watching this video. And when it comes to doing the G code, you need to be on a desktop. You cannot do this. You cannot use Ultimaker Cura, even though it's a free program. You cannot download that to a Chromebook. You have to be on a desktop computer. So log on to one of the desktop computers in the library. Your logon should be your student ID and your student ID. And make sure you have downloaded your STL file, and then go to the lower right hand corner to the little Windows icon, and in the search box click there, and then in the search box type the word Cura if you don't see a shortcut on your desktop, and then click on the program called Ultimaker Cura, and just give it a minute and it will open up. And then once you're inside the program, if it's opening for the first time on that computer, it may ask you to select a printer. The printer you select for your project is going to depend on which class you are in. So if you are in Miss McArdle's class or Miss Pachani's class, you are going to select the Ultimaker 2 Plus printer. If you are in Miss McArdle or Miss Pachani's class, you are going to select the Ultimaker 2 Plus printer. If you are in Miss Yoon's class, you are going to select the Ultimaker 3 Extended printer. Ultimaker 3 Extended if you are in Miss Yoon's class. And that would come up right away when you load the program. If it doesn't come up right away when you load the program, then you have to first come over here to where it says Settings, and it says Printer. And you should either see, if you only see Ultimaker 2 or Ultimaker 3, then you have to come down here. If you don't see Ultimaker 2 Plus and Ultimaker 3 Extended, then you have to come down here to Add Printer and select whichever printer, the Ultimaker 2 Plus for Miss McArdle and Miss Pachani, and the Ultimaker 3 Extended for Miss Yoon's class. So select your printer, okay? And then click Add Printer. I've already added them, so I do not need to do that. If you do go to Settings and hover over Printer and you see either the 2 Plus or the 3 Extended, select the one that you need to for your class. So I'm going to select the 2 Plus first, and I'll show you what that looks like, and then we'll look at the Extended. So I'm inside the 2 Plus printer. I now need to get my file in here. So I'm going to File, and I'm going to say Open File. And I'm going to find my STL file that I created in Tinkercad and click Open. And then you'll see the object load on the bed of the Ultimaker. And you know you're using the Ultimaker 2 Plus because it says it right on the back of the image here. You'll see it right there, Ultimaker 2 Plus. If you want, you can scroll in a little bit using your mouse scroll, and you'll be able to see your object more up close. Make sure it is sitting on the bed of the printer, that it's not hovering in the air. If it's hovering in the air, it's not going to print, and it may flood our printer. So be careful of that, please. Once you're done there, we're only going to change maybe one setting. The material is going to stay at PLA. That is our material. The nozzle is going to be the 0.4 nozzle. We're going to leave the layer height and the print speed and the infill exactly the same. And we're going to leave the build plate adhesion box checked. The only box that you have to decide to check or uncheck is the generate support. This particular object does not need any additional support. It's a pretty solid object and it doesn't have any overhangs. An overhang would be like the equivalent of like a tree branch that would be overhanging from your object, or an arm on a figure, something like that. Or if you did a dog and you had like a long tail hovering in the air, it wasn't sitting on the ground, the tail, that would be considered an overhang, and that would need support generated below it, so that as this program is building, as the Ultimaker 3D printer is building, it will build support so that when it gets to building the tail or the arm or the tree branch, whatever it is, it will be able to have that something for it to sit on. Otherwise, when it tries to build that hovering in the air, all of that material is all liquidy and it will just kind of flop down to the bottom of the bed and nothing will be built. So that's the only thing you have to kind of think of. If you have an overhang, you're going to click on Generate Support. Okay. By generating support, your build time is going to be increased. So don't automatically select that box unless you have an overhang. Once you're done selecting your settings, come down here in the lower right-hand corner and click on Prepare. That's what's going to get your job ready. And it will show you an approximate amount of time that it's going to take to print that job. And then you can click Save to File. It will open up a Save dialog box. And I recommend that you go to this PC and find your H drive. I don't have an H drive on my computer here at home, but it would be near the C drive, probably to the right. Click on your H drive and save it with your name, your period, your teacher's name, and the name of your project. Otherwise, if you can't find your H drive, you can save it to the desktop, click Save, and now it's saved. Now you would have to import it into Google Classroom. I'll show you that in a minute. That's for the Ultimaker 2 Plus. Let's take a look at the Ultimaker 3 Extended. If we go up here to our settings and we switch to a different printer, Ultimaker 3 Extended, you'll see it'll take a moment, but it's going to ask us to re-prepare. Before we do that, we want to come over here and make sure we're in PLA mode. 0.4, it should say AA, 0.4 under Print Core. All of the layer height and the infill is the same. And once again, build plate adhesion box should be checked, and decide whether or not you're going to use the Generate Support option. Do not worry about extruder number 2 at this time. Come down here to the bottom and click on Prepare. And it will take a moment, 3 hours, 24 minutes. And then you're going to click on Save to File. And same thing, click on this PC, scroll a little bit and locate your H drive, or come up here and just save it to the desktop. Make sure it has your name on it, click Save, and it will be saved to the desktop. Okay. Once you're done saving your G code, you can then come over here and go to your Google Classroom, the project that was created, the assignment that is due, and underneath your STL file, you can click Add and say File, and then select File from your computer, and then either go to your H drive, access your H drive, or go to your desktop where you downloaded it to, and pick your file, your G code file, and it will say G code, and then click Open, and then click the Upload button. And it will take a second, and it will upload. And you should see an STL and a G code before you turn in your assignment. And that's it. If you have any questions, please contact me in the Media Center, and I can help you do it. Thanks so much.